my screen visible? Yeah.
I'm sorry, it is still not visible. Can you please try sharing it again? Yeah, no problem. Yes, we are able to see your screen now. Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. And I believe this is the fourth time I am doing a program with Chennai chapter. And the first program I did in 2003 or so. And I'm really happy to participate in this small event. And as you mentioned, this same topic I have presented in the month of April in Bangalore chapter and May in Coimbatore chapter. And I have made one change, actually speaking. The previous two presentation were regarding how to plan pandemic BCP. Okay. And this time our team asked a different topic. It is how business continuity will turn as a business usual in COVID times. So that's what they think. I have made in a way perspective change into the entire presentation. This is not a business continuity presentation. It is how to cope with the changes and how to assume the current situation as the business as usual. That's what my today's presentation. And I will proceed for the presentation. I'll put off this video and then I am continuing.
Yep, thank you, Jason. Yeah.
So this is what the simple agenda. I think the time given is around 1.5 hours. So what I'm thinking of covering is understanding the current scenario, what exactly the problem, and why we need to be more optimistic in terms of understanding the current scenario and continue the business as usual, the business continuity scenario itself as business usual. And it is going to be a long time, it is going to be prolonged impact. Okay. So pandemic characteristics I am going to talk, and what is this new abnormal? And so instead of telling it as a new normal, it's a new abnormal. Okay. The emotional phases of disaster recovery. Okay. So it needs a lot of psychological tuning to adopt this scenario and then continue our operations in a courageous manner. So that's the reason I thought of giving some psychological approach for this, and how to understand the current scenario risk, and I am giving more insight on because we all we can talk more and more about COVID, and every day if you switch on the TV, we are only hearing news about COVID and other impact. So being we are ISACA members and governance and assurance professional, I thought of giving as an auditor and the consultant and governance and assurance professional, how we should approach this in our profession. That's what the last section I am discussing. This is what my today's simple agenda. So to continue with, you all might have seen this slide. Okay, this I have taken snap in the month of April 3rd. If you notice, the total kind of a casualty was around 58,000. Okay. And we were all in a hope that something will happen in May, and then later June 1st we will be all right. But reality is something different. We are not going to, we are not getting any clear idea that when we will end this real situation. If you see the current scenario, it's already as per June 10th record, we are all nearing to roughly around 4.12 lakh casualty. And if you see, we are crossing the all other pandemic in the historic pandemic scenarios, and then slowly we are moving towards the 18th century Great Plague. Okay. I think in the next 1 month period, we might cross that, and then we will be going to almost 2 centuries ago. What kind of attack we got, that level we are going to reach. So the reality is, though we all think we might reach to the as usual life when we were in the month of January or December, but reality is not going towards that. So how to cope with that? That's what my today's kind of communication. So if you take this pandemic problem, the primarily, in a way, if you take the real issue, there may be several diseases, and in fact, AIDS also. If you see this HIV has taken so far 25 million to 35 million toll. Okay. So it is there since 1981 to today, and it is continuing. But whereas there is a big difference between that and the current scenario, the spread is important aspect. That's the reason we are all worried and then sitting. Okay. The primary three characteristics of this COVID. Number one, it's a droplet transmission. So whether how hygiene you are and how healthy you are, it doesn't matter. When you walk and when you are kind of going near to anybody, by sneezing or even by kind of small droplet comes into your respiratory system, and that's it. That's one major threat. Then second is the surface, and it is one of the scaring thing. It is surviving in the surface for 5 to 6 days, and there are so many new news coming in copper surface sometime, and cardboard sometime, and steel surface sometime. But whatever it is, we can't assume we will be behaving in such a way that without touching any surface we will be moving around. It is unimaginable. That is one another issue. The third is airborne. This is further, even you maintain that 6 foot 6 feet different distance, then also you are not left. The news is now through the air circulation systems, the AC vent. This all can throw the pathogenic into our respiratory system. Even you are maintaining that distance also, it can circulate in the room. So this is another. This all I am giving this from authentic WHO information. So now this is the main three problems. So why it is making us not to move around anyway. This is added to this. This is asymptomatic, means the person who is already holding, he himself do not know he is spreading. That is another big threat. Okay. Then the third is as of today, pharmaceutical intervention is not reliable. Okay. There is no medicine. We are trying with so many medicine, and nothing is proven or nothing is reliable. Okay. So it's a combination. This combination making us to live a totally different life. Means whatever our age, we are totally living in a different life. In fact, for me, once different experience. In fact, I faced this kind of problem in 1994, once in Gujarat. Okay? But that time it was not this much lengthy. Altogether 10 days I was, because that was a plague in Surat and Baroda. Plague outbreak happened. That time, similar manner, we were all sitting inside the home for 10 days. Okay, that time the entire thing came and went. Within short time, we were able to function as normal, and it was not a countrywide or worldwide outbreak. Because of that, this much trauma or this kind of one mental trouble we never faced. Okay, whereas current scenario, even after 120 days. Okay, my last trip to Vietnam and Cambodia was in the month of December. Since I came from there, I didn't even go move to the airport. Okay, that's the real situation. It has stopped all our activities. Okay. So the issue, okay, how to handle this? If you see, one, pharmaceutical intervention, and pharmaceutical intervention is not effective and it is not reliable. So the non-pharmaceutical intervention been started. Okay, so we are there now almost 85 days. Our total life is changed. We have not, in fact, many people courageously going on the road and going to the market and coming, but the people who were kind of paranoid about this, they are not at all moving out of their home, even for morning walk or anything. So this is the way the non-pharmaceutical intervention has completely stopped our activity. The business has come to a different normal. Okay. So this situation, how to continue and how to face this in the future, and what kind of, as a governance professional, what kind of measures we can take and how we can give the idea and how we can consult to our client. That's what my today's objective. So as you see, it is not a new normal, it is new abnormal. We never seen this kind of situation. Even our parents, okay, the people over in age of 90, also they can't say that they have faced this kind of one situation. Okay. So our perspective, if you see, World Health Organization doesn't give any hope. Okay, every day their statement is there can be no going back to business as usual. There is no possibility. And the virus can take off if at all we are going to a normal life. Definitely the virus can take off. Resurgence is possible, and not only that, the risk of returning remains real. Okay, even you would have seen in Chennai yesterday also there was a rumor that again lockdown will be imposed. Okay, so we don't know what will be the real situation, how long it will continue. And in fact, if you see, when we started in the month of March, what was the situation, and today if you see, we are almost you can say 100 times more cases are there with us. Okay? So almost 75%, 75 times you can say. That many cases are there. Now the probability of getting infection is much more higher than the stage where we were in March. Okay. So we all want to go back to normal quickly, but what is most of us, we are not understanding that it is not possible. It may take weeks or months, or some of the things will never happen. Okay, we may not be able to go to the normal life unless drastic any kind of vaccine and the widespread vaccination or any other kind of remedial medicine is coming to the market. I don't think we will be seeing that same normal again. Okay. The truth is that we don't know how long this will be continuing, and also we can't say how we can call this as a normal. Okay. So we can only assume that the current situation itself as a business as usual. That's what my idea. Because we should not think that something will come, we will go back to normal and we will be able to travel and we will be able to go to the client's place and deliver all the services as usual. I don't think it will be happening in any near future. So we should consider the current situation itself as a normal, and it is a business as usual. And then we should continue in the same constraints, whatever the constraints now we are having, adopt it, and then we should continue our business, and then we should sustain this situation. Okay, that's what my thought. Okay. If you see this slide, I'm giving normally in an emotional behavior, any change occurs. Okay, any change occurs. What is the life cycle? Okay, in any point, any change comes, the first thing is where we don't want to accept it. Okay. And we feel that, oh, how this has happened, should we need to adapt this, or we have to blame, or so many kind of we can't accept that situation. Slowly we are now I can say that we are in the depression phase. Okay, we can't adjust this anymore. Okay, we have to go to some way, we have to cope with this, and then we have to accept it and then move to the next level. Okay, so this is what kind of sudden change happening. Our human emotional behavior is this cycle now, and in a way, I don't know. In India, I feel that we are in the depression stage. Okay? We are all feeling that how long it will continue. Every day we hear news, or every day in fact, I stopped watching COVID toll or COVID infection statistics and all. I stopped watching. In the first 2 weeks, we were very much enthusiastic to see that. Now we are not even interested in seeing that. Okay. And slowly what happens, any business, okay, whatever you are rich or the great business also, there is a time period to burn out the reserves and savings. Okay. Beyond that, the worry starts. Okay. So before that worry or that kind of situation kills us, we should adopt that, and then we should proceed to the whatever the new normal. Okay, if we were doing 100% turnover, even if we accept, we will be able to do in this year only 60% or even 40%. We have to accept that only 40% is possible, and with that we should know. Okay. That's what my idea. And to understand further about this disaster, this disaster is something different from any normal business continuity model. Okay, in this business continuity model, there is no destruction. There is no destruction. Only it makes you, it disables you. That's all. There is no destruction. Of course, to some extent, human life lost. Otherwise, it has immobilized us rather than bringing any disaster, real destruction to our assets. Okay. So what is the reality? If you see widespread impact, okay, if you see many organizations prepared their business continuity to move into to alternative location, alternative state, the fallback arrangement where across the city, across the state, across the country. Now I don't think where we will go. Across the planet, we don't have the business continuity plan. So we are staying in this earth. Okay. So that is what the widespread. There is no chance to do anything. Okay. Everywhere the same impact. Okay. The second is, as I mentioned, there is no physical disaster. Okay. And third, this is not suddenly happened. Okay. In fact, we all know the situation in the month of December itself. Okay. And we were also, in fact, I started practicing wearing mask and all in January itself. Okay. Because that time I was traveling around wearing mask that time itself. So it has not come to this peak, or I don't even call current is peak. I think we yet to see the peak. Okay. So this is not happening in one day. It is slowly happening. So what is the advantage of this is we have sufficient time to react, and we have sufficient time to prepare. So that is another characteristics of this pandemic impact. Okay. And the fourth one is the effect is on workforce. Okay. So workforce is bigger problem, and the reason why workforce is not ill, but we cannot mobilize the workforce, or we cannot use the workforce for performing the task. We all thinking only IT industry, but there are n number of industries. In a way, we can say if we are 20%, there are 80% industry where physical presence of the manpower and staffing is required. Okay. Such time we can't say that work from home will make us to proceed. But this is the real problem where currently. So how to set new normal and how to accept this and then proceed. So in any business continuity model, we know that there is a parameter called SDO. Okay. So in fact, this in this diagram, if you see, the MTO is what we normally calculate that within how much time we can come back to normal. Okay. From the day it occurred, from within how much time we can come to the normal. In this particular problem, it is unknown. Okay. It has become an unknown variable. There is no value. Okay. You can't even plan, or it is not in your hand. That is the real problem. And second is this SDO. SDO means in the period of the disaster, from my 100% my operational model, how much percentage I can recover, and with how much percentage for how long I can run. That is what making us to think how to proceed that with us in business as usual. Okay. So what we should do, if at all we are in the 30% SDO or 20% SDO, we should move towards reaching with accepting all these constraints, moving towards at least 70% SDO. So if we reach 70% SDO, that itself a great success. That within this same constraints, which I don't think it will go in near future. With that, we can start living, and we should consider that as business as usual. Okay. With that, only we can continue our business. Okay. So we all should think how to reach that service delivery objective with the same constraints and available resources and the model. What all the things will help us to move to that direction. Okay. And if you see the outage timeline in the previous slide, that MTO today we can predict by the way there are various simulation tools which is published with the help of WHO, and that also is based upon past history. Means they used the data from SARS, Ebola, and H1N1, such kind of data. But but this current scenario is not too much identical or not too much near to that. Okay. So even at this model also, we are unable to reach to the real figures. Okay. How much, within how much time we can come back to normal. Okay. And if you see this, there are multiple small surges, and then there is a resurgence also. So this resurgence also, if you take, it estimates, okay, in a normal this kind of R0 value, it estimates that at least 12 months we will be in the similar situation. Okay. So this 12 months also as of today we don't know. Okay, this is not nobody with 100 clear probability they are announcing that within 12 months we will be able to reach to the normal. In a way, 3 weeks before, I think in the first week of May, Singapore one team analyzed and then announced that by the end of June India will be normal. Okay. But in reality it does not happen. Now we are going in a totally different direction, and then I don't know whether those predictions will work anymore. Okay. So the characteristics, if you see, it may become a prolonged problem. Okay. And we have to understand that situation. Okay. So if it is so, what is the life cycle? Okay. In a way, psychologically, in any disaster scenario, what is the human behavior? Okay, how they react? That's what I thought of giving here. In the first phase, it's a devastation. Okay, where we never expected. We all celebrated Happy New Year 2020, and we never expected this. And for some more time, we don't want to accept it. In the month of February and all, our mental state was, it won't come to India. We are eating this, we are eating that, and our lifestyle is this, and we are immune to so many things. Like that, one false kind of theory we were all talking, and we were continuing as is. And then we are now in the phase 2. Means we really faced the situation. Okay, it has gone to a great level. Okay, and now in this particular stage, normally it's a heroic stage, what we call. I'll explain that in the next slide. Okay, where we try to help each other, and then we try to win somehow this situation. That also happened. Okay, if you see the entire month of April and May, everywhere help and 20 lakh crore aid and food facility, everything they give. Now where are we? Okay, now eventually all of you are experiencing this. The enthusiasm and the recovery, the speed what we were having in the month of April and May first week, now we are not. Okay, now it's totally silent. All of them are in a grief, and in a way everybody is in grief mode. That is what the phase 3 means. Now all of us thinking what to do. It is not going to work. Helping continuously is not going to happen, and we have to come back to somehow to the normal. Is it possible to come back to the same old life? That is not possible. So what is the alternative? Okay. So I am happy that I'm not happy with the situation, but I am happy with the coincidence of this presentation. In fact, this is the stage where we need to think about it. Okay, how to plan what will be the new normal, and with the existing constraint, how to plan for the continued operation. Okay, so we have to predict with all current constraints how to plan a new kind of operational model. Okay, that is where the phase 4. So in this phase 4, if you see the diagram, we may or may not reach the old normal. Okay, we will be in the new normal, and new normal, how long it will continue, we don't know. Okay, so with accepting this new normal, we should continue our model, and what to do as a assurance and IT professional, what to do and how to take this forward. That's what I'm going to discuss. And before that, I would like to give what is the characteristics of our thought process. Why I am telling this characteristics I am expecting, because in the last so many my lifetime, means the in the last 50 years we have not seen this. Okay, but we have seen this now, and everybody predicting that this may occur in the future at least every 2 years. Every 2 years we may face similar kind of situation. There may be means a different kind of new mutation and a new kind of pandemic may come, and we should be resilient about this. That is what the reason we all need to understand the life cycle. Unless we understand mentally or psychologically this, then we will not be ready to face this once again. We will not be ready to sustain in that particular time. Okay, so that's the reason I thought to approach this as a emotional approach. This is what going to be the cycle, and this is how we have to cope with. And in real situation, the humanity has in millions of years, it has faced so many such calamities and disasters, and with all that only the evolution happened, and with that only we are living in this planet. Okay? So we have to take this as real situation and then how to proceed. Okay? So I am explaining the previous slide in a detail. Okay, so the threat phase, which as I mentioned, the warning. Okay, keep on warning comes and nobody bothers about it. Okay, and it continues, and many people don't even watch the channels or watch the medium, and then they ignore that. Okay, that is the first phase that we were there in the month of January. All of us can agree. Okay, then second, the situation occurred that warning has come to a bigger level, and in fact up to the level of a country's head. In not only in India, every country head came to the channel and then announced the lifestyle and what and all should practice and what not to do. Everything been announced, but that time we all agree that we were also not in a mental state to agree that will attack us. And still it was all of you know in Chennai what happened. So all of them were not wearing the mask and going to the market, and they tried to show that they are immune, or they were try to continue as is. Okay, so that was the situation. And then third, where the real impact happened in the month of May. Okay, in some places it happened in the month of April itself. Okay, so that was the bigger outbreak, and that effect only now it will continue for some more time. I don't know, this may even go as another effect also. That's a prediction. In today's newspaper also they're telling there may be possibility a big outbreak, or some people telling it may recede in the end of the June. Okay, so that is that situation. Then this space also we have seen, and during that April, a lot of help and people were there to come and make this to go to a good level, and they all helped. Okay. Then the next is we were all thinking that June 1st was this honeymoon time. Okay, it means we have come across, and we are happy that lockdown is over, and we all has crossed that situation. We all thought, but reality is not. Okay, so this is the next state where we thought that we have come across, and or we have crossed that situation. Lockdown has given a lot of benefit, but in reality it has not happened. Okay. So now we are in the current state. This is what the current state is, disillusionment. Okay, in this phase reality hits home. Okay, and despite of 85 days we are still unable to move around. Now we all start thinking, okay, how to proceed further, and what kind of alternative arrangement can be made, and what other kind of help and things can happen. That's what we are all in the situation. This phase 3 is one of the kind of vulnerable phase. In this phase, a lot of disappointment, anger is all possible. I feel this may continue even till the end of June, and maybe July first week also we may be in the same situation. But if we want to come out of that, we also should think about, we can't see something like end of the tunnel, some light is visible, like that. There is nothing is visible. I mean, this is all my opinion. Okay, we are going to be there in the same state, and we have to think that the place where we are and the situation where we are, that itself we have to take it as a normal, and then surrounding to that. Okay, so you all know, in the earth, I think some of you might have seen in one of the film called After the Earth. The Will Smith used to say, this is the planet where everything is to kill the human. Okay, so right from the mosquito to big animal, and vehicle accident, pollution, and various other diseases, and in malnutrition. This all was existing earlier. Okay, we were all living in that constraint only earlier. So we should think this also an additional constraint, and then proceed further. Okay, that's what my opinion in this presentation. Okay. So this is a phase 4 where we have to come to the new reality, working through the grief, and this particular stage we should plan. This planning purely accepting this all constraints currently what is there, and with this constraint, how to operate IT, how to perform audit, how to run the factory, how to do everything. Okay, so for that, what are all the additional controls we need to make, and what kind of a governance we should bring into that, and how to do the impact, and then how to plan the growth. Okay, this is what going to be the new normal. This is my opinion. Okay, so our new normal is nothing but accepting the current scenario with the same constraint. We reconstruct our operational model and then continue. Okay, this is what the thing which I thought of communicating to you. Okay, so when you want to accept this, and we need to have some idea about what's happening around the world. Okay. This will help how to focus the market, and which market will be helpful for us, and which direction we can develop our business strategy. Those things we can think about. Okay, so I just thought of presenting some current scenario around the world. Okay, the 4 quadrant, if you see the first quadrant, the lowest quadrant, if you see, it is low mobility and low recovery. Okay, in the low mobility, low recovery, if you see the countries including US and India is in the low mobility and low recovery area. Okay? This is the latest data which I took it yesterday only. Okay, so we are in this state. Okay, now what we need to see, at least in the right hand side quadrant, which is low mobility, high recovery, that places where we can think about, we can expect the business from that, okay, or we can try to do focus the business in that. Then next is the high mobility and high recovery area, okay. So this will help in worldwide. What is the trend? How we can expect the business and how which direction we can move, okay. So this way we should watch how the recovery is happening and where they resumed their operation with the existing constraint and with their other capabilities, how they started. That will be really helpful, okay. If you see the Vietnam and all, a very unexpected country where it is in a very you see, when other locations are 120% drop in the productivity, Vietnam has gone to 20% above than normal productivity, including Taiwan. Okay. So that could be their preparedness, or maybe I also see it could be because of the gene or the racial group. That could be also a reason where they may be immune to this virus. Okay. This also we need to keep in consideration, that worldwide what is happening and which country is in good recovery and mobility, and which country is operating as normal. We should focus from those countries, how can we tap the business, and how we can do the business in those countries, that we need to think about. Okay. The second is the market. Okay. Market, if you see this also, I took the data yesterday. This presentation gives, you see, I am taking, because we are mostly catering to the IT market, because ISACA is information technology and control. Okay, so I thought of taking IT left side and then various base industry taken in the horizontal. If you see the analytics business, okay, analytics business, it is significantly positive impact. It has got a significantly positive impact. So in any industry today, analytics services will be going really well. That is the situation. Then second, if you see the Internet of Things, in some industry it will have a significant positive impact. So some industry it will have a moderately positive impact. Okay. And likewise, if you see the security in the third area, it is moderately positive impact, because you all might be in reality we are also into security consulting. We are receiving so many new requirement, and in fact the market traction is more. Okay, they all want to verify the current network architecture, this work from home situation, this all. So the security market and strategize the operational model, they want more security consulting. So that one area in IT security, it will be really flourishing. Then the fourth area, which is cloud and data center, it is obvious that even the companies which were having on-premises facilities in this past 3 months, I can say that more than 30% to 40% of the people moved completely their infrastructure, and you can say 100% utilized the online facilities, means the cloud facilities. That includes our this meeting, okay, the Zoom and other kind of technologies which we are using. Okay. Then AI is another area. Maybe I have seen in a couple of magazines that now they want to monitor the people through AI. The infection models they want to monitor through AI, and then various machine learning techniques to replace the human presence. That is very much going on. That area is going. So why I am presenting it is not to give a business idea. It is to say that we need to get input from the market. What is the trend? Unless you understand that trend, you will be trying to sit in the same boat and try to sail that. Okay, it may not work. So we may have to adapt what is available now, and in which direction we can go. So that's the reason I am telling how to accept these constraints and then move towards the chances where there how to go there. Okay? So in this situation, we have to understand, okay, where it is improving, and then what kind of market we will be able to tap and then get the business. That is the kind of approach. Okay. The internally what we need to do, okay, we need to analyze the business. Of course, we all would have done the business impact analysis at least in the month of April, but now we have to see the business impact in a different perspective, because that time the predictions what was given with that parameters we did the business impact. Now we have to relook at that. Okay, relook at that and then see that where we are really going to get impact and how to change that. Okay, so we have to understand the current situation. Number one, what are the potential impact in your revenue stream? Okay, if it is going in the same the order receipt and the pipeline, then where we will be in the end of this financial year. So that planning is definitely needed. Okay, the second is what potential impact to your supply chain. Okay, and you will not believe in Bangalore. Okay, I know the situation in Bangalore. A lot of migrants moved away. Okay, now even the factory opening and then running, the government has permitted and then they're trying to run. Now the manpower is not available. Okay, they're unable to get back the same manpower, and not only that, there are industries which were supporting to the larger industries. The manpower is not available, so supply chain is completely affected. Okay, this will you might have seen 2 days before in the news. This supply chain impact will have a big impact on the food chain also. Okay, there is a possibility that even the food and essential items the prices may go up. Okay, so we have to understand in our business in the supply chain what kind of impact will be there because of this widespread impact. That is another problem, another area of understanding the risk. Then the third is what potential impact to your customers. Okay, the customer impact, of course. Okay, from US, from Europe, what kind of orders we can expect? You know that fashion industry was in India. Fashion industry was very much depending upon Europe and US. Now, whether they will consume and what will be the manufacturing, we don't know. And similarly, the software, IT-enabled services industry, in a way, you can say 80% depend upon US. Now, US situation is what kind of new market traction we will get and how we will be able to tap new orders, nobody knows. Okay, so this way, customers, where is your customer? What is his impact? And whether he will be giving new orders or not. That assessment is the third important point. Okay. Then fourth, what potential impact to your employees? Okay, all the industry not having a kind of sustainable rich employees. Okay, many industries employees already run out of cash. They don't have money to continue their life. Okay, now, unless if the employer gives food and shelter, retaining the employees and getting the same efficient workforce is not possible. So we have to see in which industry and then to what extent the dependency on the manpower and how well we can retain our skilled employees. That is another risk we need to assess. Then the fifth one is very important. Delegation of authority to the leadership. Okay, this contingency plans also necessary. There are multiple issues in the leadership. Number one, the frustrated managements changing the leadership. Second, frustrated the leaders himself putting papers and moving away. Then third, very little amount, they are no more. Okay, because of the COVID infection or something. I'm not telling in India, there is no such a big death toll has come. In many other countries, this is the issue. Okay, so now if the primary personnel's leadership is not available, where is the succession plan? Who can run the business? Who can kind of take this business forward? That planning also very important. And I'm sure that based on the current news and whatever the articles I'm reading, now given a chance, the people are sticking with the company and then staying. If slowly, if industry start hiring or if it starts restructuring, then many people who didn't receive the salary or they received a partial salary, those all people will move. Okay, and such scenario, and also some of them in a in a kind of panic and frustration, they may resign and then move to a little safer environment. Okay, so this all possible. So we need to plan for or we have to assess the risk towards the changes in the leadership or unavailability of leadership. Both we have to understand. Okay, that's another important risk. So these 5 risks we need to understand for planning for sustenance. Okay, so we need to understand these all 5 risks. Where are we, and then what kind of mitigation plans we are having. That is very important. So shall we put a survey here, Mr. Sripati?
Yes, sure. We can. 1 second. So you want to have the first survey?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we are initiating a poll. So you should be able to see that in your screen now. So the question is, prior COVID-19, did your company have a business continuity plan or pandemic preparedness in place to handle the global outbreaks? So more than 60% have voted. We'll stop in like 10 seconds. Okay.
In fact, when I made the same survey in first presentation in March, everybody were saying, almost 80% were saying that yes. And now they are telling no.
Okay.
So, because they are misunderstood something is their business continuity plan, I think.
Yeah, I will end that. So now I will share the results. So yeah, so if I think people are able to now see the results.
Yeah.
So it is yes 57%, no 34, and unsure is 9%. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you can put one more survey also, second one.
Okay,
also.
No problem. Yeah, I'll put that out. 1 second, please. Okay, so launching the second poll. So how well do you think your organization has responded to COVID as compared to other organizations? So again, these are anonymous, so you can vote freely. I think Vaidi has feedback on the poll question. So the poll question should be split between the earlier poll question I'm talking about. Should be split between BC plan and pandemic. So obviously these two are different things in a way. I think. What is your feedback on that situation?
It is also business continuity plan, but addressing the pandemic.
Okay, so let me stop the polling, and we have 73% have voted, and I will show the results. Okay, hope you're able to see the results now.
Yeah, so I'm surprising to see at the best 25% of the companies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not as well as others is 8%. It seems that I think more than 92% of the people have achieved their objective with the plan, whatever they implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So different, yeah, it's a good result. Yeah.
Yes. So let me stop sharing this. You just
Thank
tell
you.
me
Thank
like
you.
when you know to do the next one.
Thank you.
Reshna.
I will continue now.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you. So yes, now we have to focus on actions. What we need to do. Okay. We need to have a action plan, how we can continue this, and what kind of controls we need to put with this we can continue our operations. Because the business as usual with the means by opening all and working is going to create much more trouble to the business rather than it will help you to sustain. Okay. So we need to have a good understanding from the senior management, especially on that SDO point which I told. To what extent we have to improve the service delivery? Where are we now? Okay, if we are at 30% of service delivery, and if we want to reach to 60%, whether management is keen to that, and then what is their real plan? So that needs a clear plan, and it needs a high level meeting, and it has to be clearly documented and then disseminated to all the team leaders and the leadership level. Okay. If that is not done, then it will be a disintegrated approach where each one will try to show that they have achieved their task and they are keeping that everything ready. Okay, so this I am seeing in many organizations. The physical security claims that I have installed a sanitizer and my office is ready, everything is clean, I have rearranged the seats and everything. Where is the employee? Okay. And the developer team are the people who is managing the workforce. They are telling there is no intimation on what will be the allowance for coming to the office and how are we going to give the facilities to them. For that there is no clear plan, so we can't invite. We are okay to continue as is like work from home. So what happens unless the senior management participates and then gives a clear direction, this is how we want to achieve the higher level of efficiency, and this is what the roadmap. And if there is no coordinated approach, then reaching to that level will be difficult. So it needs a clear action plan, and then it has to work in a kind of a well orchestrated model. So I thought of taking this COSO, okay, COSO model for risks and controls in while moving to the business as usual with the same constraints. When we are whatever the alternative arrangements now we made, with that if we are continuing our business and we are going to make this as a semi-permanent or permanent arrangement, then what are all the controls we need to take care? Based upon the COSO framework, I have taken this 5 area. Okay, control environment, risk assessment, control activities, communication, and monitoring. I have classified the controls and risks into this 5 category. So this is what I thought of explaining to you. Okay. So considering that with the as is the alternative arrangement we made, we are going to continue the business. What kind of risk the organization will face, and what controls we may have to implement to make it safe, and how we can give the business assurance. Okay. So the number one, the control environment. So the remote working arrangements may significantly alter how you execute the internal controls. Okay. If you imagine, there are many approvals and many verbal approvals. These all happening in the remote work arrangements, and even in companies where it was running a ODC or in a highly controlled environment, also now they are all working from home. Okay, so now this will affect the internal controls, or whatever the controls which we laid down for the compliance purpose, that will affect. Okay, that's one risk. Then second, the remote work arrangements may reduce the oversight and communication across the organization. Okay, so in a way, work from home today, the efficiency calculated based upon not by physical presence or monetary. Okay, it is always by what work you allocated, what is the timeline you are given, and when you delivered that. Okay, so the oversight, it is not happening on hourly basis or even a daily basis. The periodic meeting is the only place within half an hour the review is happening. Okay, so that is another risk where we may deviate from the handling the efficient workforce. Okay. Then third is lack of continued education and training sessions, because the people are widespread and there is no continued HR departments communication or even at team leader level trainings and all not happening. Only periodic meetings are happening. So the communication is mostly happening offline. Okay, you are communicating something, whether he reads or not, that is left to him. So that's another risk. Then absence of contingency plan for key personnel, which I have explained in the previous slide. The important internal control team itself missing. Okay, in fact, the internal audit team and compliance and risk management team, they are asking what to do now. Okay, they don't have any clue about how to handle the current scenario and what will be their task. They think that all audits are postponed. It is not happening. Okay. So that way they are completely ignored. Okay, that is another risk. Then non-compliance with organizational policies as applicable and applicable laws and regulations. This is happening very much, and as I mentioned, at the post this situation, if at all many there you can hear many fraud and IP theft and legal legal consequences the organization may face. It could be because of the data breach or intellectual property breach or mishandling of funds. Anything can happen. So this way the policy is not adhered. The high amount of relaxation without any thought process, it is being relaxed. Okay, so these are some of the risk in the control environment. Okay, so now what is the controls, what are the controls we can impose here to address this in this particular situation. Okay. Number one, engage with the team members, increase the means the change management meetings. Okay, potential changes to all the risk areas. Okay, so the team members have to report, okay, and discuss the changes in the business operations very frequently. Then only at a bird's eye view, the senior management also will have an idea that what is actually happening. Okay. Then second is deploy training to ensure all understand how to operate in the this alternative mode securely and remote environment, how to operate. That we need to give a proper training. Okay, that we have to find a way, alternative way to deliver those trainings in an efficient manner, that it will be understood and it will be followed by the workforce. Then third, the enhance the existing tool, technology, infrastructure to support the remote execution. Okay, I think many companies have adopted now this VDI and the BYOD, and completely moving to the enterprise application to the cloud, hosting that to cloud. So these all happening so that there is no bypassing of the control. They feel that as is with the same environment they are working. Only thing is they are sitting at home. Okay, so there is no system bypass or the control bypass that we can avoid by using the technological advantage. Okay. Then create backup support process for control owners, so that if the person A is not available, person B at least can take care of that. So you have to put all the control owners and the decision makers. We have to put one alternative or one succession plan we have to make, and then make available. Okay. Then verify the new ways of working and continue the provide support evidence to the control performance. Okay. So the control performance evidence also we have to redesign what will be the evidence. Say for example, even attendance point of view to reporting, or any sort of even travel bill claim. Everywhere the appropriate evidences has to be collected. Otherwise, tomorrow when you are doing the audit, you will say that no sir, he sent one mail, I paid that money. Like that kind of answers may come. Okay. So that in what alternative ways the same control can be implemented, for that we need to find a way. So this will help in terms of control environment, whatever the risks are there that we may have to address. Second is risk assessment. Okay. So in the risk assessment, the increased pressures to meet the organizational goals and targets. Okay. So this again will increase the risk of fraud. Okay. So what the bypassing the controls, so many different ways they do and try to achieve the goal. Okay. So this is one other risk which we need to address. And failure to assess and address the impact of changes timely manner. Okay. Because it is not coordinated, change control and change, even I don't see the companies which is now sitting in home and highly disintegrated teams, they don't even raise change ticket. The team leader says, and they request to different peers and then getting it done. Okay. So now these changes, what kind of impacts it has created, nobody assessing, and there is no normal flow for change approval, change impact assessment, those things and all missed. So that is another risk which we may face. Okay. Then rushed changes. Okay. And now everything is emergency change. If you go to the IT department, in fact, I happened to see 2 weeks before their antivirus update was happening from the on-premises antivirus server. Okay. At least earlier, once in a week, these fellows used to come to the office, and then their system is reporting to the antivirus console, and then getting the necessary update, and at least the endpoint devices were compliant. Okay. Now, in the past 90 days, none of them come to the office. They are keeping the antivirus server still in the on-premises only. Okay. Now this is another problem. So the change is implemented without seeing the real impact. Okay. So now this kind of many changes may happen. So such changes, when it is not serving the real purpose, then we have to remodel that and then we re-implement that. Otherwise, that will create another risk. Then inconsistent oversight and communication increases the risk of management override of internal controls. Okay. So this is inconsistent oversight, as previously also I told, not verifying the kind of changes or approvals on a frequent basis, occasionally going and checking it. So that will further increase. We call it as control verification frequency. Okay. That control verification frequency has now gone for a toss. The control is there. Control, they are telling it is practiced, but the frequency of control verification is totally reduced. So this will increase another risk. So what mitigation plan or control new control you can implement? Number one, review the previously performed all risk assessments, see the current scenario. Okay. So reassess whether these risks currently in the control. Okay. We might have closed that, saying that the alternate means the existing control and newly introduced control, now risk is mitigated, risk is low, but it would have reached to a different height now. Okay. Because of the new working model. So all your risk which you brought down from critical or high to low, all those risks you may have to go and reassess. Is that mitigation controls, whatever you put, is it still valid or not? Okay, if not, we have to find alternative controls and then implement that. Okay. Then second, in terms of roles and responsibility, repurpose the individuals as necessary, design and document the change of new controls. Okay. So these new controls, whatever you are having, the actual your compliance and risk management department has to given this task to do. Means many companies are doing. In some companies, what are you doing means this work from home compliance only their current assignment. Okay. So that way, even it is manufacturing or any other industry also, the work from home are not operating from the earlier location, different alternative location. In all these cases, what new risks been introduced that we have to understand, and then related controls has to be documented and published. Okay. That is the second area. Okay. Then third is control activities, failure to adequately protect the confidential data. Okay. Yeah, I think all of you might be seeing documents are exchanged left and right, and the very important documents also now currently lying in the BYOD laptop. Okay, and downloaded everywhere, and cloud storage is being used for dump the records. So this confidentiality aspect of many documents being, data classification policy completely violated, and for the purpose of meeting the current scenario, everything been kind of violated. Okay. Then new controls, that's a risk, and then failure to implement new controls and revise the existing controls in the various remote workforce area. This is another risk we will be facing. Then increased the access changes, user access changes and profile changes. This will again may introduce new vulnerabilities, and segregation of duty conflicts may arise. These all need to be assessed. Means currently, because of the changed working model, is the SOD and all maintained? That is not assessed, and also the access provisioning and privilege management also, with various justification what is put into the access request document, it has been approved and then provisioned. Okay. So that another risk it will create. Okay. Then failure to set policies and procedures or implement the necessary corrective action in the timely fashion may lead to the outdated missing controls. So deferring the new control implementation, let everything to go okay, then we will practice this control. Like that, deferring or prolonging the new control implementation may create another risk. So these all are the risk which may occur in the control activities. Okay. So let us see what mitigation plan for that. The established mechanisms for effective operation of new or critical controls. That's one. Then strengthen the detective monitoring controls. Okay, especially log management. Okay, all the changes since work from home is announced, maybe from May in March 20th or March 15th to till now, all the logs has to be reviewed, and these logs has to be verified for the authorization and approval. Okay, so that way every change happening in this alternative mode or the new operational mode, everything has to be monitored and then approved properly. Okay, and reviewed. Okay. Then explore the system capabilities to automate the workflows. Now various workflow also changing, approval mechanism, many paper signature. In fact, in the last 4 months, all the NDA earlier it used to come to me, and then I put the seal and signature, and then again scan it and then send the document. And now majority of the documents I am doing with the electronic signature. Okay. So that way, even bank inward remittance forms and all, bank is accepting the electronically signed document for inward remittance. And then if you take in fact the April month salary and all, by giving a check, scanned check image, they released the payment. Okay? So this all possible. Okay? In fact, we did it in the month of March with the signed check we scanned and then sent to the bank manager. He transferred the salaries and payments to our vendors, and then subsequently we went and submitted the physical check. Okay? This is for the NEFT kind of transaction. Internet banking, that is different. That is already we have the privilege. Okay? So the workflows like this, several workflows have been approved, and then it is happening. Okay? So those workflows also we may have to see how authentic, and is there any possibility of doing fraud in those life cycle. Okay? Yeah. So the next area, okay, next area is the information and communication. So before this, can we have one more survey here?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So meanwhile, Jason, if you also can have a peep at that chat window, there has been some questions so that you can just,
Please.
yeah, you can have a look at them. So yeah, I will initiate the poll now. Okay, so the third poll is being launched. All right. So the question is, once all restrictions in your city districts are lifted, what is your work from home preference? Interesting question. But again, do we have a preference? The organizations need to, we have to, abide by what our organizations is.
This I thought of putting how many of them willing to, come to normal working model.
Okay. I think we have received almost 70% of the votes. So 70%, 71. Right. So I'll end the poll now. Okay, so there you go. Work from home 50% of the time is the majority of the response.
Okay.
Once again, let me share the results. So yeah, I hope you are able to see the results now.
Work from home 100%, only 9%. Okay.
Looks like people are now fed up working from home.
I can interpret that Chennai people are highly courageous still. Okay. After this whole news also, Chennai is highly courageous.
In fact, we had done a survey, right? I don't know whether you were. We had a survey in Chennai chapter, and other chapters also participate in a small way. So we are comparing the results. So we'll be the survey results will be out soon. In fact, one of the point that we asked in that survey was, how is your family treating your work from home? So our surprise majority of them were saying yes. So family is in support of extending this work from home. Just to clarify, bringing it this point, with this survey question. So just an FYI to all chapter members, we will be launching that survey report very soon. And yeah, and also there's that lucky draw which we announced, right? So the 15 people who, we'll do a lucky draw of 15 people, and we will also, intimate you all those information. Thank you. Yep, over to you. Sorry for hijacking your session.
Yeah, no problem.
So do you want me to next survey, or how is it?
I think we have completed only 3 survey, no?
Yes, correct.
6 survey I put, I believe.
I think you had 7, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it is 7 actually. Last one was.
Then you can give one more also. No?
Yeah. Okay. Right. The next one I'm launching. So once restrictions in your city lifted, consider attending a physical event in your home city with appropriate social distancing. So would you consider attending? Yeah. Would you consider attending? So this is also kind of relevant to our PDM as well.
Yes.
So in fact, we are not thinking to even do something in a physical as of now.
When is your annual conference?
Annual conference generally is in September. So, but now we are actually,
by this survey, you can see that whether to make it in Shola.
No, it's 50% as of now. Anyway, so yeah, Correct. You're right. So, but as of now, the chapter has decided not to do any physical this thing because of the risk of being affected by COVID. But yeah, but as things prolong, we'll see how it matures. So we have 70% of them voted. I will just stop the polling. I think people who have not voted, please. Okay, let me end the poll. So share the results. No, I would not prefer is like for 41 percentage, and then yes, only if it's less than 20 people is 30 percentage. Yes, if it's only less than 100 people, it is 19. So
It means that if
Mhm.
you see the previous survey and this, the totally opposite results. Okay, you see they are ready to come to office, but not ready to come to the event.
Yeah, true. Good. So
Good.
you want me to launch the next one, or you
No,
want to
we
just
will
go on with
continue.
something?
Then after this two
Yeah,
slides.
a
We will,
quick time check. So we have 15 more minutes to wind up. So we
yeah,
also
yeah,
need to give some 5 minutes for. In that, we need to give 5 minutes for
definitely,
Q
definitely.
and A
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
And
I
also
will.
there is a final one where we generally used to do like everyone comes in a video, we just take a
Oh, okay.
screenshot so that we can post it in our social media. And I also
Great,
urge
great.
you also to come in a video.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, over to
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So the next area in same COSO framework, the information and communication. The significant changes, okay, may require disclosure to the quarterly or annual financial. So two things: how are we communicating the current status? These dashboards and the periodic disclosures to various levels of the management. Is that happening? Okay, is that happening in a right manner? Okay, so that is another risk where this may be discontinued or left. Okay, the oversight. Okay, so this may lead to control weakness. Okay, the next the information may be delayed or unavailable due to the operational impact in the different countries. Okay, this again the dashboard data or the reporting data is collected from various geographies. If that is not available, those MIS reports and all will be discontinued or delayed. It may lead to some sort of decision making problems. Okay? Then financial close or external reporting may be delayed. This is another possibility. We don't know now. As of today, March results and all been published. I hope so. I think many chartered accountants also here. We have completed our activity and all in our office, whereas many other companies, whether they reported correctly, all the statutory things have all been reported correctly or not, we don't know. There is a possibility in the next year these all financial statements, even quarterly, half-yearly reports also may be getting delayed publishing. Okay. What happened? Yeah. So what action we can take? Establish a communication platform and the process to keep teams. These all the reporting and things are being submitted in timely basis. For this, we need to establish a proper platform and then monitor and track these things. That's what the new control which we have to introduce. And finally, the monitoring activities. Okay. So lack of business continuity or disaster recovery plans could generate major disruptions to the process and control. Okay, this is the continuity plans also need ongoing sustenance and new decisions, and many times return to normal time and all would have been defined. Those things and all parameters will be changing, and the alternative arrangements, if it is a temporary hire or when periodic hire, whatever manner they have hired those resources, that period also may be ending, that renewal may be needed. That way, continuity arrangements, whatever we made, we have to relook at that. Is it really going to help you for a prolonged period? Okay, that risk is there. Okay, then heightened use of public and secured Wi-Fi networks. Okay, this is another problem, and we introduced in many companies that work from home Wi-Fi network compliance. Okay, that randomly we have to audit it and then see that whether that point itself is compromisable or not. So that monitoring and the way how they reach to the office network or cloud network, those logs also has to be kept. So that's another monitoring control we need. Then increased use of mobile devices. Okay, mobile devices, multiple devices. These assets, in a way, many companies hired the laptop and then handed over on a temporary basis. That has been prolonged, and when they return, and what are the contents there? Who is going to be the sanitizing person? Earlier, the custodianship was with the internal IT department. They used to collect it back, sanitize it, and then reissue. Now, when this kind of temporary hire of laptops and all there, it may or may not come to the office premises or the central location. It may directly go to the vendor. There is a possibility of higher possibility of data theft or breach. Okay. Then remote working arrangements and changes to the overall environment may require changes frequency of the control. So we may have to see that the new environment needs what kind of risk vulnerability assessment and other monitoring controls newly to be introduced. Those things also we may have to introduce, like that example which I have given, that antivirus program, DLP, this kind of programs and all remodeling may be required. So the control for this reflect on current process. Again, that when you do the reassessment of the risk and new operating model reassessing, naturally you can implement the monitoring controls also. Okay. So this is what in the COSO point of view, that 5 area, what risks and controls which we may have to focus while continuing the alternative mode of operation. Okay. And finally, I thought of being all of us are auditors and assurance professional, what we need to consider to continue our operation. Okay. So in terms of audit planning consideration, plan for ongoing assurance activity without disrupting the or violating the post-pandemic constraints. Okay, you can't call them, no, audit, you have to come here. That is not possible. So for the purpose of audit, constituting a meeting or calling them may not be possible. So that we have to take in consideration and recalibrate the approach. Okay, the cyclical 3 months audit or 6 monthly audit, these all, whether it has to be conducted more frequently or less frequently, this all has to be recalibrated. That is another area. Then consider agile audit planning. We need to implement a model, short-term prioritization. Okay, what way, instead of covering all the controls, we can choose key controls based upon the risk management. Then those areas only we will be performing the audit. Okay, that we can plan, so that the effort what we are putting on the audit, and within the constraint we can cover the best risk mitigation in terms of verifying the key risks. Okay. Then practicalities during virtual audit meetings. Okay. So now understanding the audit availability. Okay. So now what happens, earlier itself when we are doing the audits, if you ask one evidence document, they don't come back for half an hour. Okay. So now in the remote audit, they are not showing any document. And in fact, last week we conducted one SOC 2 audit. In that, if you see, the all HR files are in the office. And we are asking how many people in the last 6 months you appointed, give me their background verification departments. They are unable to produce it because all the documents are sitting in the physical premises. Remotely in the HR system, that is not available. Okay. So there are so many such documents which as an evidence they may not be able to show. When we are performing the audit, we have to give sufficient time to collect that evidences and then give it. So we need to give advance notification about what evidences we want to review, and those documents are made available. That's another approach we may have to undertake during the audit. Okay. Then availability of the stakeholders. If they may give that person is not available, other person will be attending the audit. That may not really convince us. So we have to meet the right people and then take the input. Okay. Then new use of technology. In fact, in the last 4 months, whatever my experience I'm telling, whatever the audit we have executed, mostly remotely we executed. In fact, physical security also we have taken on the CCTV camera on the remote, and then he presented that, and then we have reviewed all the area physical security also. So there are possibilities that without going physically to the premises, there are alternative ways to do the even physical security controls review, and various controls we can all other operational controls related evidences we can definitely see through the Zoom and Skype. This is all possible. Okay. Then obtain permission for recording. Okay, this is another problem. Now whatever the documents you are showing earlier, you are showing that in a closed meeting in a paper document or in the customer's screen. Okay, now everything is shown on your screen. Now where is the confidentiality? All the evidences and critical documents shown during the audit session, that also can be recorded. Okay, so if you want to record the session or you want to store something, we have to take permission. Okay, otherwise that may become a confidentiality breach. So this is, being an auditor, we should consider this. Okay. Then consider deployment of automated controls. Okay, so now many companies are interested in implementing access violations and the CCTV monitoring. These all they want to automate, so that going to the office and then verifying not necessary. That is the one. And also in various other models, the AD audit controls, various controls automated, so that physical collection of the logs or periodic human intervention may not be necessary. To the possible extent, we can automate the thresholds and then exceptions, and then that can throw the alert. Okay. That's another possibility of improving the audit model. Okay. Then second is collaboration. Everywhere, because we can't travel. Okay, we were doing all over India the audits. Now we can't travel. Now if you want to execute some audit, we need a collaboration. We have to identify the local partner, be it in India or any other country. We have to identify the partners, and then they will deliver the services. Similarly, if they want services in our geography, we can deliver the service. This way we both can exchange the kind of audit assignments. That will improve the customer satisfaction. Okay. Then the travel restrictions, they execute the overseas work in the relevant countries. We can identify the resource partners, and then we can this all may need even intimating to the customers also. Our resource is not doing the audit. We have identified a partner for performing this audit. That kind of approvals also may be needed. Okay. Then continued involvement is there, and because auditor is a alien for many of the organization, they will all feel that yes, because of these constraints, yes, we are free from that trouble of that alien. Okay, that way they should not feel. We should show our presence, and then we should continually monitoring the things where possible, involve in meetings. A physical visit required, whatever the way we can do the on-site visit with the help of their employees with social distancing. Then necessary defer the work. Okay, because in many companies now the certification and all they have extended. Okay, the certification, recertification, and annual expiry of the certification and all they extended, so that the extension also possible with the good faith and the mutual trust. Those certification, recertification periods and all can be extended. Then if you are not convinced with the change and design of the new commented controls, okay, then and there you can raise the objection. We should also participate. Being an auditor, we cannot go and verify that after 6 months. We can request all changes. Auditors also need to be brought into the change management committee. That way we can approve the changes and assess the impacts and things now itself. Okay. So that's all. I thought of giving a different insight to and probably we can give 2 more surveys, and then we can conclude.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Jayachandran. So there has been active group chat going on, which is actually very nice. I mean, people are trying to also, effectively use that channel.
I am unable to go through the chat. Instead, what you can tell in that monitoring any contradicting points or anywhere they need clarification, you can put those points. I can answer.
No, I think. I mean, it's too many eyes. Vaidi, do you have any picks that you want to just quickly? Any questions that you came across that you want to just quickly read out?
Yeah.
See, it's all more of pointers rather than questions.
Please.
Okay. Then in that case, so we'll just go for the polling then. Okay. All
we
right.
have asked whether presentation is shareable. We will come back on that once.
Already I have shared, sir.
No, it can be. No, it's to the members. Can it be shared? So I just want to.
It is free. Anybody can.
Okay, right. So we will definitely share it. No issues. Okay, so we are launching this next polling. Yeah. So in what time frame do you think would consider traveling on professional assignment, domestic or international?
Yeah, when you are ready to travel to.
All 12 months it's going on. 43% on the 12 months.
They want to extend it to the possible longer period.
Yeah. So put together, I'll share the results soon. So just waiting for some more people to complete that. 76% voted. So it's almost 6 and 12 months more. It's 75%.
Great.
So let me end this and share the results. Okay. So yeah, 12 months plus is 41, and you have 34% in the 6 to 12 months category.
Okay. So and near future, no one wants to travel.
Yeah, and if Corona is like hit in our neighborhood, not even outside our gate, right? It's so critical. In fact, right. So all right. So we'll just do the next poll very quick.
Please.
So next poll, yes. So yeah, has your organization included vaccination requirement in employment screening procedure and employee vaccination program? So quite number of no's there actually.
Yeah, because this may become a future, pre-qualification of an employee. Not Corona or COVID vaccination, all other vaccination, because the infection may be due to anything.
Right. Correct. You're right. Right. So 70% have voted. I believe it's people are saying that no, it's almost 54%. So let me end the polling and share the results. Yep, there you go.
Okay, that's all. Are there questions?
I think there are one final. Can we just do that, or you
want to please do it. That's all. We are end of the presentation.
Okay, right. Perfect. Cool. Right. So let me stop sharing this.
I'm happy to see almost 190 people are on. Is it?
Yes, we are on. So there's a multiple choice kind of question. So you can select more than one option. So please describe what your firm faced most significant challenges during or after the pandemic lockdown. So you can just check multiple options here. That's how I've given. Cool. A lot of answers coming in.
Yeah, this is one good insight because we got in other two cities. We did. In Muscat, we couldn't get much input on this. Whereas in other two cities, availability of suppliers and partners was good.
Yeah. So all just don't go away. We have that final video screenshot. So let's wait for that so that it will be in our LinkedIn platforms. And share that in our LinkedIn platform. Okay, so I think we got 76% of the responses. Let me end the poll. Okay, so this is how the results fared. So remote work from arrangements was the highest thing, followed by your commuting of workforce, and then you have your delivery of customer service in employee absenteeism, and availability of supply and suppliers and partners, and then maintenance of office premises.
I think this is very good input. Actually speaking, this will help many organizations to.
Yeah, very true. Yes, very true. Very true there. Okay, so cool then. So then, I think we are getting a lot of appreciations on the presentation. Very nice, sir. Thank you so much for this one. And with your permission, can I just end the presentation? Can we go back to?
So one more slide. I just want to show that. It's okay.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, please. So I'll just stop sharing the results. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's all. This is our famous Bodhidharma.
Bodhi.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
with this, I wish you good luck, and then we all have to come back to normal. As again, I'm telling, insisting, there is nothing called a new normal, or there is nothing called comeback. Okay, this is what we are. Wherever we are going to continue as is. But this is going to be our new life. Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, gentlemen. On behalf of the chapter, we really thank you for your time today, and really appreciate. And I think we are seeing a great feedback here. And just as we speak, I've also put the link for the Google form. Hope you're able to see. Hope everyone is able to access the Google form. This is for the feedback of this event. And so happy to see such active participation, and I think we will definitely continue in the same pattern at least for the next few months until things are settling down. So again, as Vaidi mentioned, we are planning to bring in more sessions so that you can have your CPEs for the reporting period in the reporting year, right? So wait for us.
I can
for
see
more
many
updates.
familiar faces also.
Yes, this is a very small world, sir.
Yeah.
And as a virtual world, we are connected. In fact, more closely now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, all the members, and we'll see you all very shortly. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.